Ho, ho, ho. Merry
Cheers.
Christmas. Today is Christmas Day, and we have a special treat episode for you with Justin Peters of The Struggle is Real, where we learn about Money Jeopardy. And Jackie, our lovely and talented co-host, is one of the contestants on the show. But we're here today with Diana and Jackie to share with you our gratefuls for the year. Jackie, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I will go first. There was two unique things that happened this year that I'm very thankful for, besides my family and all my loved ones. But I launched a book this year, something I never would have dreamed of years ago. And I got all this stuff I have in my head about personal finance. I got it into that book, Fire for Dummies. But more than anything, I am so grateful to be a part of Catching Up to Fi and your co-host, because we are touching so many people that, to me, was a missing group of people that weren't being served. So to all the silent generations, all the people that didn't have a podcast talking to them, I am very happy to be a part of the one podcast that's completely dedicated to that. So that's what I'm really thankful for, Bill.
Oh, it touches my heart. And before Catching Up to Fi, she was a homeless financial educator in the wilderness of financial independence. And now she has a platform upon which she can provide education to not just late starters, but the whole nation, because she's the girl that's everywhere all the time.
Yeah, well, the thing about that, Bill, I have said it to you many times, but I'll repeat it again. It's really funny how, even though I was guesting on everyone else's podcast, I was on everyone else's platform, I didn't have my own platform. So I guess I was kind of homeless. And then when I joined Catching Up to Fi as the co-host, now that was part of my new identity, and I can't thank you enough.
Well, I thank you too. You add so much to our community. And we have also with us Diana. She is our social media maven extraordinaire. You see reels, you see thumbnails, all the promotion of our great episodes. She is responsible for it. Diana, thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And thank you all. I'm so grateful for my hardworking husband. He's actually working today. And we entered the Double Comma Club this year. So very grateful for that.
That's something to celebrate.
And also, it's something that's been life-changing is Pilates. I'm doing Pilates every day. So want to just send a healthy holiday out to everyone, wishes and gratefulness for health. And I am too, just so grateful for our community, our admins, our moderators, our people reporting things to keep our place safe. And we just have an awesome community. We just love you all.
Don't forget Fritz, our VA extraordinaire, all the way from the Philippines.
Yes,
Fritz, we love you, man.
Happy holidays, Fritz.
Okay, well, I guess it's my turn.
Yes, your turn, Bill.
This has been a big year for us and our family. We've had healthcare challenges, and I am grateful to the healthcare team that took care of my wife. She had her challenges this year, and without the team that was put together, she went from 0 doctors to 7 overnight. And they just did a great job taking care of not only her, but us and our family. And we've had a remarkable medical outcome as well as mental, spiritual outcome too. So for anybody else out there that's having healthcare challenges, I feel for you. Stay the course. You too will get to the other side. And I too am also grateful for this community that's meant so much to me, my team that has come together on a volunteer basis to provide you guys with content that we feel is meaningful, timely, valuable, and motivational, because we're a mindset, money, and life podcast for the silent majority, us, the late starters. Guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is for you, happy, happy, happy.
Happy holidays. Cheers.
Okay, this episode was so much fun to create. This is outside of my normal format, but equally as informative and probably more entertaining. In October, I attended FinCon, a conference for personal finance content creators. I know that's super nerdy of me, but here you are listening to a personal finance podcast, so I don't think you have that much room to judge. This was my 4th time attending the conference, and my favorite part of it is all of the friends that I've made over the years. So, like when any group of friends gets together, we had to play a game. The only difference is, since we're a bunch of podcasters, it also had to be recorded. So in today's episode, you are going to hear from me and 3 friends playing my version of Money Jeopardy. My three friends are Joel Larsgaard from How to Money, Jackie Cummings Koski from Catching Up to Fi, and Justin Brown Woods from Price of Avocado Toast. These contestants will be choosing questions from 4 categories: Binge or Cringe, are you in or out on this personal finance topic? The history of money, a tough money-related trivia question, Frugal or cheap, are you being a good steward of your money, or are you just being a cheapo? And the last category, fill in the blank. I'll give them a statement and they complete that statement. You will chuckle and laugh throughout this whole conversation, but I also think you're going to be picking up some tips and tricks along the way. Joel, Jackie, and Justin really crushed this episode. There was so much good chemistry. I had a blast creating this episode. It was, like I said, by far one of my favorite parts of the conference. I've been thinking about adding in some segments to the show that would incorporate questions like this episode. And at the end of the episode, if you liked this, maybe not format, but the type of questions, a little bit more lightheartedness, send me an email at justin@simplepodstudios.com. Once again, that's justin@simplepodstudios.com. I would love to get your guys' feedback on this kind of conversation. So kick back and get ready to have some fun. I hope you enjoy my conversation with Team J and fellow money nerds, Joe Larsgaard, Jackie Cummings Koski, and Justin Brown Woods. You know those moments where you think, I wish I would have learned this in school? Those are the topics that we love to talk about. Join me each week as I interview experts sharing their strategies for solving problems that us young adults will face throughout our 20s and 30s. So we are at FinCon, as you can tell by the background noise. I love FinCon so much because, of course, we get to learn how to be a better personal finance content creator. But this is my 4th year, and I found the thing I enjoy the most about FinCon is just getting to hang out with my money nerd friends. And luckily, I have 3 of my really good friends at the table today. Some of my favorite personal finance content creators. I'm calling them Team J because they all start with the letter J here, along with myself. This should be a fun conversation. We'll make quick rounds of introduction first, and then we will play Jeopardy. So starting with my left here, we got Justin Brown Woods. He's a financial coach and co-host of Price of Avocado Toast. Justin, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Next up, Joel Larsgaard, 2-Pete on the podcast. This has got to be his 2nd appearance here. We know Joel from How to Money. He co-hosts that. Joel, thanks for being here, man.
Hey, anytime. I'm gunning for 5 appearances on your show.
Well, the real superstar here, our 3-Pete guest.
True story.
Jackie Cummings Koski. She's back on the show again. And Jackie is the author of the new book, Fire for Dummies, and the co-host of Catching Up to Fi. Jackie, 3-Pete, you're coming. Yeah. You're coming. Sean Mulaney and Jesse Kramer have 4 appearances.
Oh.
Let's see if you can leapfrog them at some point in time.
I got to catch up. It's getting like Saturday Night Live. You know how they do these skits. But I am thrilled to be here. I haven't gone to FinCon in a really long time, and what better way to remember it than to be on the podcast?
For sure. So the listener already understands the concept of the game, but I'll break it down for you guys real quick. We have 4 categories. This is Jeopardy style. So you'll pick from one of 4 categories. It is Binge or Cringe. Are you in or out on this personal finance topic? We have the history of money. I'm going to give you a money trivia related question. And if you get it right, I'll actually be really surprised. So kudos to you guys. We have Frugal or Cheap, brought to you by How to Money. So I'm going to give you a scenario and you tell me, is it a frugal hack or is it just being a cheapskate? And last but not least is fill in the blank. I'm going to give you a prompt and you let me know what comes to mind. And then we have 4
I see dollar signs on those. Does that mean I actually win money today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
good. All right.
You let me know where to Venmo you.
That's the only reason I came.
And of course, we have 100, 200, 300, and 400. So we have 4 questions in each category here. So let's get started here. Justin, you're the newbie on the show, so we'll let you start. Pick your category, pick your dollar sign.
I like this. It pays to be the rookie. Let's do Binge or Cringe for 100.
Okay, Binge or Cringe for 100. Here we go. Binge or Cringe, credit card hacking. And credit card hacking is using credit cards to save money and earn rewards, especially in a way that makes it feel like you're almost beating the system. Are you in or out on credit card hacking?
I am way in
Really?
on credit card hacking. Yeah. When we started our kind of personal finance journey, we were way out on credit cards because we had a ton of debt. But from learning in the community and growing and like tidying up our habits, it's given our family a ton of opportunities to do really cool things.
Nice.
So I am all the way in.
Or do you have multiple credit cards in your wallet and you know when to use each of them?
Yes, I will say that my wife Haley is the one that just tells me like, use the one that's at the front of your wallet and like, I'll change it out when you need. So I kind of just like, follow directions. It's been great. We've done incredible trips We're going to Disneyland later this year, and we're hacking that for our daughter's 5th birthday, and I'm just thrilled. I'm so excited.
I love the idea of credit card hacking, but I'm just a little overwhelmed. I've had Danielle Desir on the show, and she's taught me a lot about credit card hacking. For some reason, it's like the one area of personal finance that I just like haven't fully jumped off the deep end and gotten to yet. I just take my 1% on my card and call it a day. I've really been trying
You
to
gotta at least get a 2% card. Come on.
I should, Joel. Maybe I'll go and grab a credit card from your SSI. So you guide me to the right one, and I'm all on board. I've been trying to get Gabby, my girlfriend, to be the leader in that space. She does a lot of travel, and I just want her to take the lead on that. And I'd love her to just put the credit card in my wallet, and I know this is the one that I'm swiping. Joel, Jackie, actually, Joel, I know you're in the credit card hacking, correct?
I'm going to say I'm kind of like the hokey pokey when you put your arm in, right arm in, you take your right arm out. So I'm like halvesies on this one. So I can't even be binge or cringe. I'm like, I do it a little bit, right? So I know enough to be a little dangerous, but I also don't want to go overboard in complexity. I like my life simple. And so there are elements of the credit card game that I can fully appreciate. I love me a good sign-up bonus, and I love being able to pay for flights with points or being able to buy a hotel room with some points. But I'm also, I'm not sold out like the gurus that come on the shows to talk about, and I'm mad impressed by their skills. I'm also maybe just a little bit lazier than they are. So
I think lazy is it for me too.
Yeah.
Jackie, what about you?
I think I'm a little bit on the bingey side, but
Okay.
not too crazy, and not just travel rewards. Like, I'm one of those people that is not a huge traveler. I love other kind of points, maybe hotel rewards, and I really like bonus money. And there's some banks where they want everything under their umbrella that you have, and you get extra bonus cash back. Like, I think my best one is almost 3%, because if you have so much investments with them and stuff like that. So strategically, I'm probably a strategic binger.
there you go.
Fair.
I like
Fair.
that.
All right, Justin, you get $100. Joel, you're next up. What would you like?
Okay, I'm going to go frugal or cheap for 200.
All right, I like it. Of course, you go frugal or cheap. All right, frugal or cheap, using a coupon on your first date.
Oh, I'm going to say frugal, but you got to be able to communicate about it. You
Okay.
can't be the weirdo who like pops it down with sweaty hands. You have to like say, hey, you have to make it cool. And I think you can make it cool. And I think you can help your date understand like where you're coming from. And it's not hopefully that you're a cheapskate. You can talk about the ways in which, like, why not use a coupon when it's available? Hey, guess what? This is like one of my favorite restaurants. And my wife and I used to do this. Like, our favorite restaurant would come out with coupons or discounted gift cards. We were always loading up on that stuff because it just meant every time we went out to dinner, we were spending less. I don't think my wife thinks I'm cheap because of it. First date, yeah, it's a little harder to explain, but I don't know. I think you got to have a little bit of an ability to explain yourself on that one. But hopefully then they're like, wait, okay, this guy's thinking about his future, not just trying to get out of this date as cheaply as possible.
Yeah, maybe you can even tee the date up with that. Like, hey, I got a coupon for my favorite spot. I'd love to take you to it. Would you be down to go someday?
Sure. You can make it sexy, I think.
A little bit of riz in there.
Yeah.
Jackie, what's your opinion on this?
I don't know about that.
She's cheap. She's cheap. Just call it out.
I think that's cheap. Well, first of all, I'm a lady, so typically if I'm going out, there's a guy that's taking care of it. And typically I want to go to a really nice restaurant, which rarely has coupons, but I definitely don't want you coupon diving. I'm kind of okay with the gift card because maybe that might imply that you go to that restaurant or somebody knows that you go to that restaurant. I'm like, okay, he's accustomed to the finer things like the restaurant that we're going to. I'm not for the coupon thing, sorry.
Okay.
Justin, break the tie. Are you in or out, frugal or cheap on this one?
Oh, I'm showing my spender side here, and I think I'm out. I think it's cheap. Yeah. I would just probably say, like, maybe don't do that, right? If that's the first date, maybe pick somewhere else and wait till date 2 to bust out the coupons.
Fair. I like it.
I'm all alone on this one.
Sorry, Joel.
Joel, I think I would figure out a way to do it too. But Justin, I think you brought a good point. Maybe it's just date number 2.
Yeah.
I think first date is the key. If you're married and you're already together, well, who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, the first date, that's the deal breaker for me. Sorry.
Fair. All right, Jackie, bring us to the first round here. What would you like?
All right, I think we're going to stick with frugal or cheap, and I'll go ahead and go with the $100.
Okay, perfect. All right, frugal or cheap? Using generic brand candy for trick-or-treaters. I'm talking like the bad candy, like you just like the Dum-Dums or, that kind of off-brand type candy. No, there's no chocolate. There's nothing there.
Look, I think that's fine. I'm not trying to impress these kids. I think That's frugal. The kids don't, depending on how young they are, they don't even really care. They don't even know where it came from.
So
So
they
I
come
say that's
TP your
just.
house.
I think it's just a good frugal thing. The kid gets all this candy, they dump it out. They generally don't remember where it came from or whatever. So I'm gonna go just nice and frugal on this one.
Fair.
Yeah.
Joel, do you open up the doors for trick-or-treaters? You turn the light off and don't deal with it?
No, I do. Halloween's probably my favorite holiday. I'm saying there's a happy medium here. Get the Costco size bag of the name brand stuff the kids actually want. You don't have to go like full size candy bars. I mean, the people who do that, more power to you. That's really expensive. But I just don't think I could put in like, would you put in veggies or something like that, Jackie? Or would that be too far?
No,
Here's some snap peas, son.
Mints, just mints, straight peppermints.
I think about safety, so I'm not going that deep with it. I like your idea of the Costco, though, and just buying the super size, which when I was doing Halloween, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm sorry, I'm the one that might be turning off my lights, especially if I forgot to get candy.
Yeah.
So
The worst thing you can do, though, is to just set a big bowl of candy out and leave.
Someone just,
I've
Three
done
kids
that.
Take that candy, it's gone.
yeah. Justin, commentary?
I would say it's frugal. Yeah, I've got little kids at home and they don't remember anything. They don't recognize wrappers other than the chocolate that's inside. So
See, I have an 11-year-old.
like
You have
it.
little kids.
Yeah, I've got
My
little
11-year-old would be
ones,
like, what's going on, man? Give me something better than that.
Yes,
you know?
totally. Maybe I'll change my mind in a couple years. We'll come back and play again.
My strategy is 2 separate bowls. I have a good candy bowl, and that's kind of for like everyone that's attending the party, and we can pick out of that. And if there's a cute kid with a really good costume, then you get the good bowl. But then there's like 16, 17-year-olds sometimes that come knocking, and I'm like, you're getting the generic candy. I'm going to give you 2 pieces. Like, you don't get to reach in and pick. I'm just going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I really want to say, go away. I hate to see big grown kids come into the house, especially you come 10 o'clock at night. That's too late. It's like, go home.
I'm already in bed by then.
All right, Justin, round 2. What's your pick?
Let's do the history of money. Let's go $100.
All right, nice. I do have multiple choice options for this, but I'll pose the question first just in case you know the answer without the multiple choice. Is that fair?
That sounds good.
Okay. What building is found on the back of the U.S. $100 bill?
Oh, I don't know that.
Let's give you some options. Is it A, the U.S. Treasury Building, B, Independence Hall, C, the White House, or D, the U.S. Capitol?
No clue. So let's just think back to my time as an educator. Where did I put all of my favorite answers? They were always under B for Brownwoods. So I'm going to say Independence Hall. Is that B?
Any confirmation? Do either one of you guys know the answer to this one?
No, I'm going to guess it's D, but I don't actually know.
And I was only going to eliminate the White House.
Okay. Yes, you are correct, Justin. It is B.
Look at that.
Independence Hall. So there is Independence Hall is found on the back of the U.S. bill. Benjamin Franklin is on the front of the bill. But actually, each one of those buildings are found on a U.S. bill. For extra points, do you know the U.S. Treasury Building, the White House, or the U.S. Capitol?
Oh, no clue. I don't know. On the back of the 5 is the Capitol. I don't know.
Any other steals here?
Nope.
idea.
No, I don't pay attention.
You got us lost on
Everything's
this
digital
one.
now. Do we actually hold on to cash?
$100 bill. Yeah.
Jackie, do you know what's on the back of the $2 bill? I don't.
Yeah, yes, it's the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, nice.
And it's not the actual signing of it, but it was a draft of the Declaration of Independence. I just watched a documentary on $2 bills, so that's how I know that.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, Jackie is the queen of the $2 bill,
Yeah.
so that's why she knows tons
Look,
about
I
this.
didn't show you my socks, but look at those socks.
Those are sick. Uh-oh,
Oh,
Joel, it's
snap.
gonna
Those
be
are
hard.
awesome.
Yeah. Do you got your socks on too?
No.
My socks are better than
cool socks like that.
yours.
Yeah, they are.
So
I'm jelly.
So to wrap this one up, the U.S. Treasury Building is found on the back of the $10 bill, the White House found on the back of the $20 bill, and the U.S. Capitol Building found on the back of the $50 bill.
Okay. Okay.
Now we know.
Now we know. All right, Joel, it's back over to you.
Fill in the blank for 400.
Oh.
I'm going big or going home.
I like it. All right, fill in the blank. The weirdest way you've made money.
Okay, so when I was in high school, this was back in the day before every single phone brand had their own stores, and you could open up your own cell phone retail store and sell every service. I dressed up as a cell phone on the side of the road and danced around. One time somebody came by with a slingshot and paintballs and shot paintballs at me. That was the most fun way I've ever made money. That was an interesting one. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Unique.
Justin, Jackie, any stories come to mind on you?
Well, we are getting into election season. We're doing this in October, but I told people the story. I was always interested in working the election polls. You get paid $145 for a 16-hour day, so not super smart, especially as a financial person. But I am doing my civic duty, and I really do have fun doing it. It's a beautiful thing to me to see people come out and vote, and that's the piece I care about. That's my civic duty.
That's cool. Justin?
Maybe not the weirdest, but I got our first podcast set up from my twin brother. He sold it to me for $100 when Haley and I started the podcast. And it was in the middle of our debt-free journey. So a couple months later when we upgraded, I flipped it for $150.
Yes.
And he got mad at me, came over a week later and was like, you flipped it. You didn't give it back to me. I said, well, you sold it to me, dude. So I'm going to make money and pay off my debt.
That seems fair.
Yeah, so that might be maybe the weirdest way. I
If
don't
he
know.
had given it to you and then you sold it, maybe that's uncool, but he sold it to you.
I know, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
That's fair. That's arbitrage.
That's right. That's right.
Speaking of your podcast, tell us a little bit about the Price of Avocado Toast.
Yeah, Price of Avocado Toast started about 4 years ago when my wife Haley and I just wanted to talk about our own debt journey and trying to figure out how to be a little bit better with money and pay things down and not bother our family with talking about it all the time. So we just started to hit record and talk into the world, and it's grown to where we're both now full-time financial coaches working for our business and hanging out with our babies all day and recording podcasts.
That's
It's
cool.
pretty cool.
Any thought
They just shame millennials for eating avocado
Yeah,
toast
exactly.
all the time.
I was just about to ask the same thing. What the impetus behind the name? Does anything?
It's a wild story. Basically, when we decided to start the podcast, we live in Sonoma County, California, which is wine country, and we had too much Zinfandel one night and got on Instagram and said, what should we call the podcast? And somebody said cost of avocado toast, but we were both classroom teachers at the time, and we didn't like the vowel sounds of like cost of avocado toast. It just didn't roll quite as well. So we said, why don't we call it price of avocado toast? And it stuck.
Those are some high standards right there.
I know.
Yeah, for real. All right, who's up?
Love
Jackie,
it.
I think, right?
Yeah, so let's see. Let's do Binge or Cringe for $400.
Binge or Cringe for
Ooh,
400.
big money.
Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, Joel's not the only one that can play that game.
For real. All right. Loud budgeting. And to give some definition to this is openly sharing your budget and financial goals with your friends and family. This is typically a way to set financial boundaries and make money decisions that align with your values. I know this is kind of a hot topic in 2024 right now. What's your thoughts on it? In or out?
I would say that I'm in, and it's good to be clear about it. I think some people are like way louder than they need to be. Right? It's like, and I've always tried to encourage people to say, hey, if you just don't want to do it for whatever reason, whether it's your budget or whatever, you should just make that clear and throw your hands up and say no or whatever. But, you know, there's a lot of people that are going overboard. Yeah, I want everyone to know I can't do this because of that. You don't have to let the world know. You don't have to be like really, really loud about every single thing that you just don't want to do. Like, have that as an internal thing with your standards and just be clear about it. But, you know, that's it. You don't need to convince anybody but yourself. So, yeah.
Joel, how do you and Matt approach this conversation whenever you're speaking to the How to Money audience?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would binge this because I do think that's one of the things we say all the time is sadly, money is such a taboo topic in our society. And when it comes to talking about money with friends or talking about money with your partner or talking about money with the rest of your family, people are scared to do it. They would rather talk about, there's a new poll that just came out. They would rather talk about who they're voting for. And I don't want to talk about that with almost anybody, right? I just don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. But with money, I feel like there's so much to be gained from talking about it. And I think most people don't understand much about money. And so if you open that door just a little, they'll come through and they'll want to talk to you about it, as long as you don't do it in a weird or off-putting way. But sometimes that comes from saying, hey, here's my limitations right now. Hey, here's what's going on in my life. And here's how my money decisions are being impacted by kind of my goals and dreams. And then I think other people will come along for the ride with you. And it's only going to, Matt and I talk about this all the time. Like, we're both real estate investors, and that's been one of the best parts of our money journey. And it was because we were like egging each other on. And I think that is one of the most beneficial things you can do is kind of be open and honest about what's going on. It can be to a fault, and you can overdo it, and you can overshare, and you don't necessarily need to get detailed about, hey, here's my net worth. But there are ways to start that discussion. They're going to be mutually beneficial. So I say I'm all about it.
Justin, what about you? Through your debt-free journey, did you openly communicate, kind of set boundaries, especially with friends around this kind of thing? I'm guessing you had to slash a whole lot of categories. You already mentioned that you are still a spender. So I'm curious how you approach this personally.
Yeah, we definitely had to kind of set some boundaries. But I agree with Jackie in that I think it's just all about finding the right phrasing for how you want to talk about it that doesn't have to be overwhelming or draw too much attention to it in a negative way. It's really easy to just say, hey, thanks for the invite, but we're going to pass this time.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, thanks for the invite, we're going to pass because it's not in our budget. Let me show you what the budget looks like and exactly where we're at. And it's a little bit higher this month because of this, right? It's really easy to be like, oh, thanks for thinking of us. Like, we can't wait for next time.
Yeah.
And then the empowering thing about a budget is that you get to maybe create when next time is. And you can say, hey, next month, we'd love to treat you guys, or whatever that might look like, right? And so I'm kind of a combo there too. I love the idea of like being in on it as long as you find the right phrasing for it. And that's what we did on our journey, was kind of create like, how can we back out of some things safely and not be, too overwhelming with all this?
Yeah, I feel like I have a varying degree of loud budgeting depending on the person too. Like someone really close to me, like my brother or my sister, I can be a little bit more open and share some things that I'm trying to accomplish in the financial journey and why maybe I just don't want to go out to eat for convenience. And there's a lot of more nuance that I can explain with them because I'm going to be interacting with them on a day-to-day basis. Versus the one-off, a friend invites me to go do a trip, and this is probably the one time they've asked me to do something. Maybe it is a little bit softer or more generic whenever I'm responding in that way.
Yeah, I like it.
Before we continue, let us pause and share some words about one of this week's sponsors, Delete Me. You ever wonder how much of your personal data is out there on the internet for anyone to see? More than you think.
Oh my gosh, yes, Bill. I mean, your name, your contact information, social security number, and home address, even information about your family members, and it's all being compiled by data brokers and sold online. Oh, that's so scary. But data brokers make a profit off of your data. Your data is a commodity, and anyone on the web can buy your private details.
Yeah, Jackie, I had my ID stolen, and that's why I now use Delete Me. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes my personal information from hundreds of data brokers. With Delete Me, I get a regular personalized privacy report showing what info they found about me, where they found it, and what they removed.
Yeah, and Delete Me is not just a one-time service. They're always working for you, constantly monitoring and removing the personal information you don't want on the internet. And to put it simply, Bill, Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping out you and your family's personal information from data brokers' website.
Yeah, Jackie, I am so grateful to this product because I now feel safer knowing that people aren't selling my information and they're not going to be able to impersonate me.
Yeah, what peace of mind, right?
All right, so take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners, go to joindeleteme.com/catching up. That's joindeleteme.com/catching up.
All right, we're wrapping back around for round 3. So Justin, you're up.
I'm going to stay in the 100s. I'm the low guy here. So we'll go fill in the blank for 100.
This is a good one for you. Something that you love to spend money on.
Oh, this is probably really bad to admit to. I really like spending money on fantasy football. And I'm terrible at it. I lose consistently every single year, but it's not a ton of money. I'm in a league, 2 leagues that are $50 that I've been in for 10 years, and 1 league that's $200. And I just kind of expect that in the fall, I start with $300 and that's it. I don't do any other sports gambling or anything like that. So it is a nice way for me to kind of have some competitive juices with my buddies and stay locked in on what's going on in my favorite sport. But it's not, these $1,000 leagues or anything like that. So I would say it's probably fantasy football.
That feels okay, like $100 or $200 for 17 weeks of entertainment with your friends. That feels semi-frugal in a sense.
Totally. And who knows? Maybe this is the year I buck the trend and win. Right? Maybe I get a return on the investment this year.
Have you won it all? Have you reclaimed anything yet?
Last year I think I got 3rd place, but I beat my twin brother. And so we were both kind of like, hey, whoever wins, like, let's just split this and like go do something else together. But other than that, no, I just, for some, I don't know. Maybe it's luck. Maybe it is. I'm just terrible. I don't know. Yeah.
Jackie, how about you? Is there something you really love to spend money on?
Oh, it is. I mean, people will say I probably spend a little too much money than I should. I'm part of the FIRE movement. And though a lot of people brag about having 400,000 miles on their car. Okay. I don't like that. So I do like a luxury car. My preferred brand is Lexus, but I typically don't buy it brand new. I'll get it a few years old. I'll keep it for 10 years. And I'm very proud and happy with, what I'm driving, and that's just my thing. I know I can save a few hundred, maybe thousands of dollars, over time, but I prefer to spend a little bit of money on that.
I love that. And I knew that about you too. And you've talked about that story before. And I feel like that's so counterculture to a lot of the FI movement.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that. We routinely talk about identifying the things that are important to you and just spending on those. And that's cool that you're okay spending on it and okay talking about it too, especially in a world where with the FI movement that many of people are pretty negative whenever it comes to buying cars.
Yeah, and just being conscientious, like I know what I am spending. I'm not just doing it and hoping that it's not putting me in the poorhouse or anything, but I know exactly what I'm spending. I know exactly what that budget looks like. So I think it's more about that than any little thing. And, who am I to judge anyone else's priorities? So don't judge mine.
For sure. Joel, how about you? Craft beer equivalent? What is that for you?
Yeah, well, craft beer is one, but I'll share something different. I'm really into folk art. And so our walls at home are littered with it. And there's this festival that we go to every year. And it's literally my version of Christmas because it's all of these different folk artists from around the southeastern part of the country who get together and they sell. And it's not terribly expensive, but we usually allot like $1,000 to spend on art that one day of the year because we know it's coming up. We're like, we're going to get some cool stuff. And our house is just littered with this art. And it brings me a smile on my face every time I walk around our house. It feels like us. And I don't know, man, that's my favorite thing to spend money on.
Yeah, I did not know that about you, Joel.
Yeah.
Okay, folk art in the Southeast.
That's right. That's right. People don't know what that's usually untrained artists. So they didn't go to school or anything like that. Lots of times they live kind of in backwoods places and they make a lot of the art gets made out of found objects and stuff like that. So there's just really unique pieces that you're not going to see at the Guggenheim or Museum of Modern Art or anything like that, but it speaks to me.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, Joel, things are back to you. What would you like?
I am going to go fill in the blank for 200.
All right. Fill in the blank for 200, a creator that you feel like deserves more recognition.
Gosh, there's so many good people here. And I feel like I could highlight each one of you at this table too. And someone said something the other day, Justin, about your interviewing skills. And I was like, spot on. Yes, he asked such great questions. And I wish more people would listen because everybody's making the rounds to a bunch of different podcasts. And when you get kind of a unique perspective, that's hard to come by. It takes a lot of extra work to get that out of a guest. And so I appreciate the effort you put into what you do. I'm trying to think of somebody else around here.
Could we zoom out of personal finance? And is there another creator in a kind of niche category that you really like to consume?
I don't know if the show is still around, but there was a show called Worth It. Did you guys ever watch that? And so it was these two guys and their camera guy, and he was actually part of the show a little bit too. And they would try a burger at 3 different price points, like cheap, middle of the road, and crazy expensive. It was like a 13-minute show. I loved what they did. That's one of those shows I'm like, how did that not blow up? They were so funny. It was so down to earth, so approachable. And it was often the cheaper foods that were better than a $500 burger. The $8 burger was awesome. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good one.
I meant to ask you, so we're in Atlanta, and I didn't know anything about Varsity. Is that worth the hype?
Really? Don't do it.
Really?
Don't do it.
I don't know that I've ever been to but it's like a staple. It's a classic, and I've never been.
Yeah, no, I've been a few times.
Hot dogs, right?
Yeah, hot dogs and chili dogs and burgers and stuff. No, that's probably not where I'd spend my money on food and my calories if I were here visiting.
Fair. All right, Jackie, bring us around town for this last round. What would you like?
So what do I want? Okay, let's see here. What do we have left? I think, let's go hard. Let's go the history of money for 200.
Oh.
Let me challenge these guys.
You guys
see
are
where their
staying
heads
away from
at.
this category after the 100 kind of tripped us up, which is totally fair.
I'm willing to give it another shot.
Before we even read the question, I'm going to guess ancient Sumeria. That's my answer. Yeah.
Or C.
Yeah.
This should be a fun one. And so once again, I got multiple choice here, but I'll delay that and you tell me when you need some help, but feel free to give an answer beforehand.
Okay, yeah.
Who was at the top of the Forbes 2004 list of richest people in the world?
Who was at the top?
Who was at the top? 2004.
2004.
Oh, 2004. I'm like 2020. 2004? I don't know. Donald Trump.
All right, let me give you the multiple choice here. You have A, Warren Buffett, B, Alice Walton, daughter of Sam Walton, C, Bill Gates, or D, Michael Dell.
I'm going to say Bill Gates.
Justin, how about you?
Oh boy, let's go with Buffett.
Joel?
I think I would say Bill Gates too.
All right, 2 out of 3 on that one. Bill Gates is the correct answer. Warren Buffett
That's
A
how we roll,
close, a
Jackie.
close number 2 here.
Okay, good.
Alice Walton, number 6. Michael Dell, number 18.
Okay.
So you guys did pretty well on that one, honestly. Good stuff, Jack.
I had to think 2004. Man, that was 20 years
know.
ago.
I know. I didn't want to get too much deeper than that. I feel like then I don't even really know what the names are. But yeah, I was like actually kind of surprised that Bill Gates was at the top and still near the top of the list today as well.
I can tell you that Microsoft stock is doing awesome.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm like, if it was 2024, I'd think,
He's
he's up.
probably still
Although,
there, yeah.
we got our other friend that's up there now.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that concludes, what was that, round 4? We'll give a quick score update, although I don't know if it really matters. Justin, you have $300. Joel, you have $800. And Jackie, you have $700. Once again, I don't know if we're doing lowest, highest, or Goldilocks in between here, but we can make those rules up as we go here.
I like it.
So, Justin, round 4, what would you like?
Let's stay with the lowest option on the board. So let's go binge or cringe for 200.
Someone's intentionally trying to lose.
Yeah, I think you're staying on the low point here. All right, binge or cringe for 200 here. Extreme couponing, and this is going beyond the normal coupon clipping and instead learning about the coupon system and using it to your full advantage. I'm talking you bring a binder into the store with you. Are you in or out on this?
I'm going to be as gentle as possible when answering here. I think it's really cringe. And my reasoning, and I hope this doesn't offend anybody, is I have found when I'm watching videos on social media of the extreme couponers, a lot of it seems to be heavily consumerism based. It's like this overconsumption of product because there's a coupon and I stash it in my storage room or something like that. And I just can't really get down with, hoarding the Irish Spring soap just for the time I might need it in the future. So bless anybody who's doing couponing. You could probably teach me a few things, but I'm going to gently decline and say it's cringe for me.
Joel, are you in agreement or disagree?
Hard cringe on it as well. Yeah, I think sometimes people, they undervalue their time when they jump in the couponing game. And if you're not kind of keeping track of, well, how much effort am I putting into this? How much mental load is this taking on? If I get sent coupons in the mail or if there's a digital coupon for a product when I'm actually at the store, I don't hesitate to pull up the app and pop it on there or something like that. But so I'm not saying don't ever pick up the low-hanging fruit, but the extreme form of couponing, it's similar to the extreme form of travel hacking.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, that's too much for me.
Jackie, what about you?
I am like nails on the chalkboard cringe with this one, okay? And the main reason is because it's like, how much money can you really make for that where it's going to make a difference in your life? You've got a lot of product, but that doesn't pay the bills. And I'm looking for the big stuff. I'm looking for things like high expenses and fees in my ETFs or my mutual funds. I'm looking for the bigger things. So yeah, it's just cringy to me. Just go ahead and say, I just love the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I'll be honest, I need to support the in on this a little bit because my mom was an extreme couponer. And it's kind of like, no, totally fine because I'm out on it hard. Similar to credit card hacking, I love the benefit of it. I don't want to do it either. But I don't know if I've really ever paid for toiletries. I just go back home and it's like shampoo, deodorant.
It's benefited you.
It's amazing. And it used to be much more lucrative. We had a deep freeze and my friends would come over to the house and they knew it was full of tons of stuff, but it was only 5 things. I remember one year they got 400 boxes of pizza rolls and I do not want any more pizza rolls in my life anymore. But it was cool because my friends would come over and take a box and they would absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So yes, I have benefited on it hard, but I would never do it and or really support it if it wasn't the fact that I just go free shopping over at my mom's.
Is your mom looking to adopt anybody? Because I have some toddlers who might like pizza rolls.
It's insane. So she does make gift baskets for new parents, which is nice.
Oh, that's really
because that's so expensive. And they do a lot of garage selling as well. And they make $4,000 or $5,000 at the garage sale. And people know their garage sale signs because they've done it twice a year. And people are like, oh man, I'm going to go stock up on my toiletries or kids' toys. They find insane deals on kids' toys too. Once again, I would never do it, but they benefit from it. Every once in a while, my mom will let me know, if my deodorant brand is on sale at CVS or something, she'll be like, flip this digital
suck
coupon
it.
and go get it. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, fine.
Man, so much of it depends too on where you're at life stage wise. Like there's a listener that I correspond with, and he donates plasma, and I was like, I did that in college. I wouldn't do that now. It's not worth my time. But for him, he's like, oh man, this pays for all my travel, and so I respect what he's doing. It depends on what phase of life you're in, where you're at with finances. I could see too, but I think sometimes people prioritize maybe something like coupon clipping, and they're thinking too small, and they're not focusing enough on the big stuff. And that can be a real problem too. And that can be a persistent problem where it's like hyper frugality is the only thing I'm willing to pursue in personal finance, and you're missing out on the ability to earn more, to invest, to grow your wealth. And if you're only doing the hyper frugality stuff, I don't know, man. There's a lot more stuff you need to look into, right?
Yeah, to Jackie's comments, extreme couponing is definitely just a hobby for my mom. It's not like a money strategy, a way to like maximize what she's getting. She just really enjoys it.
Yeah.
She likes the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever, I'll benefit from it. Like, it's once again, it's so fun to go back home and be like, oh, what's there? And I'm like, sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, Joel, you're up next.
All right, let's go. I'm avoiding history of money. Let's go fill in the blank, 300.
All right, fill in the blank for 300. That is a frugal hack you wish you would have learned earlier. Anything come to mind?
Oh, man. Riding my bike. True, there were a lot of years where I didn't ride my bike much, and I swear it's the greatest thing ever to be able to ride to the grocery store, take my kids to school on the bike. The cargo bike in particular, a cargo e-bike, if you can afford it, is one of those things that can help you even ditch a car from your life or use your car less. So I think biking is one of those underrated things. I came around to it later than I would have liked. And I'm like, it's good for your health. It's also gets you out and about in your town. I'm like waving at people as I'm riding by and stuff. So it's a good community builder. I think a bike is super underrated.
Jackie, anything come to mind for you?
Yeah, I think with the frugal hack, I didn't know this early on, but we're talking about, rewards points and credit card points and things like that. Just all the bonus money that's out there for financial things you already do. For instance, I just, did a series of rolling over my 401k. Well, there's plenty of brokers that will give you bonus money for doing that. And then, I used to just get a regular credit card and I never thought about points or rewards or anything. I wish I'd have known that sooner because I was sitting there, giving them my business and not getting all these extra little bonuses that come along with it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to beat myself up for that down the road too. That's why I know I need to do the credit card hacking, or at least like take one more step into it. I don't know if I need to go full blown on it, but I there's so much bonus money sitting out there, especially for people that won't be predatory because you can manage your money and you're kind of frugal at nature. So I know I probably need to step into that.
Non-taxable benefits too.
Really? I didn't know that.
Well, you don't get taxed on the
obviously.
credit card rewards and benefits that you get. So,
Justin, what about you?
I really like buy nothing Facebook groups.
Same.
And I wish I would have had those when I first started, like out on my own, of, finding a sofa or a kitchen table or things for our wedding. We probably would have saved a lot of money. And we just looked for things that had already been used and were in great condition, just needed a new place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy that.
The secondhand market in general, Facebook Marketplace has so many good deals. It's insane. Like I get like fairly new furniture for like a third of the cost. It's so fun to be surfing on there and find some things. You got to be careful, of course, and not start to spend too much. But if you're looking for something, I typically go to Marketplace first and see if it's out there. Even like this microphone that's in front of me right now. People are trying podcasting and then ditching podcasting, and they have microphones that have been used 4 times and they're going to list it at like half the price. It's incredible.
Totally.
I think that's the key, knowing the things that are great, like secondhand, where it doesn't matter. Like, I don't want to buy anybody's shoes secondhand, but like I just got like a riser for my computer on my desk. And I think I was like Goodwill. I'm like, I need one of those. And, those things are probably, I don't know, $40 online or whatever. And it was like $2. I'm like, oh, I need one of those. I'll get it. So there's certain things that it doesn't even matter, if it's secondhand.
For sure. All right, Jackie, we have 5 options left. So for listeners, we have Binge or Cringe for 300. We have History of Money for 300 and 400. Someone's going to have to take a risk on that at some point in time. Frugal or Cheap for 300 and 400. What would you like?
I'm going to do Frugal or Cheap. Is that 300? That's the only one left?
300 or 400.
Oh, let's do 400. Of course, I'm going
baller.
All right, sweet. Frugal or Cheap? Using your old student ID to get a student discount.
Okay. I think that is frugal. Nobody needs to know. I was a master's degree student a couple years ago, and I've gotten certain services that all I need to do is verify via my school email address, and I still continue to get that. So I think it's frugal in a smart way. And another thing to add on is that if you have an employee ID card that you didn't turn in, and if you no longer work, like I haven't been working my job for 5 years, but I still have an old ID. And every place in every restaurant in town, because they're a really big employer, gives you the discount. And so they have no way of really verifying it. So I just show them the card. So I think it's smart, frugal.
I love that, Jackie. I support that. Joel, what about you?
I think, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this one because are we being deceitful by doing that? I don't know. So one thing that, sorry, Jack, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, I think
You liar. No, I'm kidding. I was talking to Chris Hutchins earlier, All the Hacks podcast, and he was telling me that the University of Arizona has this continuing education thing. It's $25 and you get an EDU email address, even if you're not taking any classes. So maybe that's the way to skate through it, where you feel like you're doing take the honorable route, but it's not costing you much, and maybe you're going to over earn in discounts versus the $25 that you paid. But so there's like a national park pass. You get a free national park pass for a year when your kids are in 4th grade. I have potentially over abused that. So I don't, I'm like, she just finished 4th grade, so it still counts, right? And we can sign up for it again. And so so maybe I'm part of the problem on this one too.
That's a great hack from Chris Hutchins. I have no idea about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I've got something.
Yeah, maybe that makes it ethically moral for you.
Yeah,
now.
with the $25 thing. I mean, I'd still consider myself a student because if I want to go back, they still gave me the email address. So they're verifying me email. Like, is this still your email? I'm like, yeah, it's still my email. And they just continue with it. So it's not like I said I was a student when I wasn't. I know you're trying. I know you're trying to drop the dime on me. Thanks a lot.
I know. I wouldn't want to abuse it in a small business, and I almost wish they could send the credit back to the institution and collect the money there, because I feel like I overpaid for my education. I should still be getting the benefits of being a student at some point in time. But
Yeah, I'm an alumni. I give them money for that.
Yeah.
Justin, I didn't get your opinion on this. What do you think?
I've still got $40,000 of master's degree student loan, so I'm all right with it.
Fair.
Make that money however you need.
All right, guys. I think we're coming up on our final round here. And Justin, we have, once again, 4 options left. You're going to have to go big on something here. We only got 300s and 400s left. So what would you like?
Scared money don't make money. So let's go history of money for 400.
Yes, let's go. History of money for 400.
This might be the hardest question we've ever heard in our lives right now.
I think you're right. Yeah, probably.
I'm nervous.
I didn't know this one, to be honest. Where was the world's first stock exchange established? Do you know?
I actually know this immediately. No, I don't. Let's see. The world's first stock exchange would have been 1927 in, I don't know, what is the multiple choice?
Come on, give me a city first before
Okay. Oh, geez. I don't know. Philadelphia. I don't know.
I feel like that's a pretty good guess.
I think
That's
I
a good
might know
guess.
this.
Okay. Joel, you hold it. You hold
Okay.
it. Jackie, anything?
Well, I was about to say somewhere in Pennsylvania under a cottonwood tree.
Okay. Interesting. Joel,
I'm pretty sure it's the Netherlands.
can you be more specific?
Was it in Amsterdam?
Oh, let's go, Joel.
Oh,
Out of the multiple choice. This is correct. The first stock exchange in the world was created in Amsterdam when the Dutch East India Company was first publicly traded. To raise capital, the company decided to sell stock and pay dividends in the shares to investors. This was in 1611.
Yeah, I figured
Whoa.
it's 1600s.
And I was thinking the U.S. is why that's why you
Yeah.
probably said Philly.
Yes.
So,
I-
okay, we were on the wrong
I
track
did
there.
look at the top 10 list, and most of them are in the U.S. and the North and New England around the time that you referenced there. But Amsterdam was paving the road early on.
Yeah.
How did
That's
you know
impressive,
that?
Joel.
I don't even know how I
Oh,
think
my
that.
goodness.
Jeez.
Just somewhere.
Some kind of trivia that came back to you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's incredible. I feel like you should go history of money for 300, Joel.
All right, let's go.
Let's do
this.
it.
Glutton for punishment.
All right. History of money for 300. What is the world's oldest currency still in use? And you can take a guess, or do you want the multiple choice?
World's, oh man. Gosh, I think it's Chinese in origin.
I'll give you multiple choice.
Okay.
And then maybe you can start to eliminate some things here. The Japanese yen, the British pound, the Swiss franc, or the Dominican peso?
Oh, Japanese.
Japanese
That's
yen.
what I'm going for, yeah.
Justin?
I'm going to guess that it is I like that guess. We'll go with the yen.
And I like that guess too. I was thinking the Japanese yen.
Jackie, what if I told you it wasn't the Japanese yen? What would you guess?
Did you say Switzerland was one of the choices?
British pound, Swiss franc, Dominican peso.
The Swiss franc.
All right, this one got you guys. It is actually the British pound.
Wow.
The British pound is the world's oldest currency still in use. It has been around for 1,200 years.
Wow.
It has definitely morphed over time. All 4 of those are actually in the top 10. Japanese yen is very close to the top there. But yes, the British pound was a currency that has morphed over time, but technically still the one in use today.
Wow.
Those were hard. Those were Jeopardy level
Yeah,
They
questions.
were Jeopardy level
Yeah.
questions. I tried to, well, someone got the 400 one. I guess I should have moved that to 100. I was not expecting that.
You're the Ken Jennings of FinCon, Justin.
All right, Jackie, bring us home. Final question here. Do you want Binge or Cringe for 300 or Frugal or Cheap
I
for
want
300?
the frugal or cheap. Let's do it.
All right, Frugal or Cheap for 300. This is manufactured diamond rings.
Manufactured.
Do you know what these are?
Yeah.
Rather than, okay.
I do.
Like
I
the
do.
lab-grown?
Yeah, lab grown.
Lab grown, where they cost what, a third
Yep.
or
Yeah.
a fraction of what the regular diamond costs. I'm on the side of frugal with that, and with the caveat that it depends on you as a couple. Like if you know it's someone that you're giving this ring to and it matters, you need to be mindful of that. But if the two of you have decided, like I said, if I ever get married again, you don't need to buy me a diamond ring. You only need to buy me one thing, and that's 1 share of Berkshire Hathaway A share stock.
Let's
A
go.
woman who knows what she wants.
Let's go.
Love
That's fun. Yeah, Joel, what do you think on this?
I'm all about the lab-grown diamonds.
Yeah.
Because I think they're more ethical. They're cheaper. As long as your significant other is on board with it, I think this is why people are gravitating towards those lab-grown diamonds hardcore right now. I mean, the sales are skyrocketing. So, because I think the actual chemical makeup of the diamond is essentially exactly the same. So, why not? It's going to look the same. You might even be able to get a bigger rock, right? And still pay less than what you would have paid for a real diamond. So, I'm all about it.
I agree. Justin?
I agree with Joel. The ethics of it, I really appreciate that. And yeah, at this point in my life, spent money on a very expensive diamond ring for Haley, and we love it. But if I can steer others towards maybe saving some money, then I would suggest that.
Yeah.
What was that conversation like? Did Haley suggest or really want to go this route? Or was that a conversation that needed a little bit of time and space to really think through what you wanted?
No, it was just I was foolish and young with money and was crazy in love and wanted to do something for, the girl I was proposing to, and went and spent $10,000 on a princess cut diamond ring that was all done up because she was going to be a teacher, and I didn't want it to bump into a kid and scratch them. And yeah, I was just foolish and young with money.
Yeah. It's cool though that a lot of people are thinking about alternatives, not only lab grown, but fairly family heirlooms or even just like non-diamond material.
Yeah.
Like Gabby's got her list of things that she wants, and she's presented a whole lot of options that are like $300. And she's like,
Awesome.
I would much rather you take that money there and we go on a baller honeymoon trip
Yeah,
than
totally.
you buy me a ring that I'm going to be scared to wear because it's got to get damaged or I'm going to lose it and set it down somewhere. I'm
Totally.
like, yes, I'm in for that. I was like, I found the silicone rings on Amazon. It's like a 3-pack. I'm like, this is sweet. It's like
yeah.
$19. Yeah, those,
I got 'em.
those I'm like,
Yep.
I kind of like those.
I'm glad the cultural expectations have shifted around that because, yeah, for the longest time, like what you did, and I did something similar, it was like there wasn't another way that didn't feel shameful.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm glad that people are being more open about that and realizing the trade-offs too. If we buy this expensive ring, it might mean we don't have as much for the down payment for the house we want to buy, or we can't travel the way we want to in those first couple of years before we have kids. And so, is it really worth it to have that big hunkin' rock around your finger? You want to have. I think I also get wanting to make it special, but there's ways to do that without like spending an arm and a leg.
Totally.
All right, we've come to the conclusion. Here comes the score. Right now, Justin, you have 900. Joel, you have 1,400. Jackie, you have 1,400 as well.
Ooh.
So I feel like we got to have a tiebreaker here.
Tiebreaker. Oh.
We're going to binge or cringe for
Okay.
300 here. Justin, you're going to have to help me out. I'm not sure how we're going to...
I'm just excited to be a spectator.
You know, once I see which
just arm
answer
wrestle.
do you guys like the best?
Okay.
We could
like
just-
that.
we could just arm wrestle Jackie for the victory. What do you think?
I would totally lose
No,
at
you
that.
would
Come
not. You
on.
would kick
Yeah.
my booty.
So binge or cringe for 300, quiet quitting. And this is where employees disengage from their job without formally resigning. A lot of times they're working 5 to 10 hours a week. They don't want to have to deal with medical insurance. They want to collect a paycheck, but they're disengaged over the work that they have. What do you guys think on this?
For me, as someone that has been retired for 5 years, I could have easily quiet quit because I was out of there. Just my conscience wouldn't have been clear if I did that. I'm not about the whole quiet quitting where I'm ghosting my boss and not doing the things I should be doing. And if I have to be dishonest about something or sort of do a little cheating, I wouldn't be okay with that. Now, I talked to somebody the other day and they said, at this point, someone acquired the company. They're only working 5 to 10 hours a week. I'm like, man, I want that job.
Yeah.
But he's doing it legit. So I guess it wouldn't really be quiet quitting, but he's barely working but he's doing everything that he is tasked with doing. He's doing the job that's put forth before him. But I think if it teeters on the edge of being dishonest or deceitful or anything like that's not okay.
There. Joel?
I'm cringe too. Yeah. And I think some people, there are a lot of documented existences of people having 2 jobs simultaneously, 2 full-time jobs, just really taking advantage of their employer. And I think I wish more employers were less bureaucratic and had less oversight. They just hired the right people and trusted them to do the job well. But so I get maybe why some people push back and they think that they can take advantage in a different way. But I don't think it's right. And I would rather see people say, what is going to get me excited to get out of bed in the morning? What can I pursue, whether it's entrepreneurial, whether it's working for myself or finding a different career path is going to actually get me pumped to do work? Because I think work is such an instrumental part of our lives. Maybe we've overinflated the value of work in our culture, but work can be something where you're able to serve other people and where you're able to earn a living for your family. I just think that you're twisting the meaning of work if you're quiet quitting. I don't like it.
Yeah, and to build on that, I totally agree because let's just set aside the relationship with your employer and some of the ethical dilemma of getting paid and collecting benefits for not really doing anything. I have not found someone that's quiet quitting that is really satisfied and excited about their life.
Yeah.
They're kind of just floundering and floating through life, and they're just not ready to make the transition and take the next step forward to really improve their life and just kind of staying status quo, which is
kind of a
bummer.
nihilistic move.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, you're just trying to hold on, grab the last sacks of cash that you can, and you're hoping they don't find out. And then, I don't know, yeah, this is not a great way to live.
Yeah. Justin, how about you?
I agree. I think that we need to find ways for people to feel inspired and empowered by what they're doing. And so I would agree, if you're not happy with wherever you're at, step away and don't do it quietly. Just say, hey, I'm going to go pursue whatever makes me happy and whatever lights me up each morning. Again, on what Jackie said, just the ethics of it. Unfortunately, my background is as a teacher and I can't quiet quit as a teacher, right? Like I can't really walk out of the classroom and leave 30 kids there.
Well, I guess you could show a video, like a movie every day.
I guess it
or
could,
something.
yeah.
Just roll the video card out, then the movie card.
Hey,
Yeah.
kids, we're going to watch The Big Short today.
Yeah, I don't even know how a teacher would quiet quit. That would be a very hard occupation to do.
Very hard, yeah.
Well, that's a good point. It's only certain industries, certain jobs where you can even do that. So
Yeah.
And often it's laptop class jobs, and the people who really, have been more fortunate and can go out there and get something else. You can't quite quit if you're stocking the shelves at Walmart, typically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is that, or if I'm from Ohio and up near Michigan, you can't be working on the assembly line. You got to check in, you got to physically be there. And a lot of Americans do very physical, blue collar type jobs where they have to be accounted and president accounted for every single day.
Well, I'm going to give the 300 to Justin.
Didn't see that coming.
We will leave it a tie. And since Justin has the odd score, I guess he's got to win our first Money Jeopardy.
Well deserved. Thank you. I want to thank everybody. Thank the Academy.
Well, I really appreciate you guys spending the last hour with me. This has been so much fun. You guys are an inspiration for me in the personal finance content creator space. I do want to give you guys the floor for a couple of seconds to share a little bit about what you got going on. You guys all host podcasts. We're listening to a podcast right now. So please plug your podcast and what they can expect if they go over and listen to an episode. I'll start with you, Justin.
Yeah, Price of Avocado Toast drops every Wednesday morning. My wife, Haley, and I have guests on that are maybe in the content creator space for personal finance or even just regular people going through their debt-free journey and trying to figure out how to do it from a lens of value-based budgeting and removing some of the shame and guilt that comes along with debt and those feelings that we carry. So we'd love anybody that's listening to this podcast to check us out.
Sweet. Joel, how about you?
I love the removing shame and guilt thing, Justin. That's so important because a lot of that historically in the personal finance space. My podcast is called How to Money. I do it with my best buddy, Matt. And we release 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And so we answer listener questions. We talk about kind of the headlines of the week, what's happening right now in personal finance in the macro sphere and how that pertains to your personal finances. So yeah, it's a labor of love, something we thoroughly enjoy.
Jackie, bring us home.
Yeah, my podcast is Catching Up to Fi, where we help late starters on the journey to financial independence. And I co-host that with Dr. Bill Yount, who is currently a practicing physician. So we have a very interesting time. And we have people on, we have experts on, but then we also have people that are sharing their stories, sharing their journey. And it's inspiring. And we just love helping people as they wake up and they say, oh, I need to do something different. And we tell them it's not too late. You can catch up.
Awesome. Well, Justin, Joel, Jackie, I appreciate you so much. This has been a blast having this fun, lighthearted conversation with you guys. Thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Had a great time.
Thanks for listening to the episode. As always, I appreciate your kind words. If you want to leave us a rating and review on your podcast player right now, that would absolutely make my day. If you want to find episode show notes, our blog, and other great resources, head over to tsirpodcast.com. If you have follow-up questions, an idea for a future episode, or just want to say hi, we have a contact form on our website, and those messages go straight into my inbox, and I promise you, I will reply. But all right, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. I love you all, and you're not alone. Let's keep making it through our struggles together.
So, Bill, as you know, we cannot do this show without our amazing staff and the people that help us put this on. Our social media maven is Diana Falk, and our editor is Fritz Brazard. We love them, and they keep us going.
Yeah, Jackie, I mean, this show wouldn't have the quality it has without our folks, our peeps. And we'd also like to give you a few calls to action for the show. We love our community, and we hope you love us back. If you would like to support the show and our mission to help late starters, you can do that at Buy Me a Coffee, which is a platform that allows you to make a donation. The link is in the show notes and on the website.
Check out the show notes for resources mentioned in today's show. Also, head on over to our website at catchinguptofi.com and check out our vetted resources, partners, and affiliates for discounts and their services, because we love sharing great deals.
Please share the show with others and head on over to our Facebook community to help us grow. If you prefer video, head on over to YouTube and watch the show there. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Catching Up to Fi. We would appreciate it if you could also leave us a 5-star review to help our message reach others.
And while we are financial educators that love to teach, remember that our content is for general education and information purposes only. We are not providing financial, legal, or tax advice. Always do your own research or consult a professional before making important decisions.
So, Jackie, we'll see our audience next time on Catching Up to Fi. Cheers.